my good friend who is got his own podcast now called Beyond the X's and O's, where every podcaster found the stories of the quarterback journey from the mouths of the quarterbacks themselves, as hosted by the great Trent Dilfer back here on the show. How are you doing, Trent?
Doing good. I think people like my pod because I don't talk very much.
What do you mean? That's not true, Trent. That's not true. People like it when you talk. What do you talk about? So who are some of your guests you've had on already, Trent, on your pod?
Aikman, Favre, Moon, Warner.
And Dilfer, your own.
No, there's a lot more. Sorry, I'm going brain dead. I've been game planning all morning. Yesterday, Mark Sanchez came on. He was hilarious.
Fantastic.
Got Ryan Leaf coming on. Trying to hit. John Lynch came on. His was one of the best. Steve Young. John Lynch came on because people forget he was a quarterback.
I love
Cruz,
it.
Quarterback. Tells the story of Bill Walsh sitting him down saying, hey, you're a good quarterback, but you could be a Hall of Fame safety. And so just really cool stories from the mouths of the quarterbacks about their high school years, their college years, recruiting, their NFL experience, what they're doing now, all that good stuff.
I love it. Well, I don't know if I qualify, Trent, but I threw a pass in a demo segment on Game Day Morning that went off of Michael Irvin's hand because he's Butterfingers despite being in the Hall of Fame. So
let's go.
I mean, does that qualify? I'm the quarterback of my shows that I host. I don't know if that could fit.
We've had that conversation, and we'll bring you on.
Oh, man. Trent Dilfer here on the Rich Eisen Show. So amidst your game planning of the team that you coach there in Tennessee, Lipscomb Academy, correct? Did I get that one right?
Yes.
Too? Okay,
that's
great.
Right. Good memory.
So, yeah, I have no notes. I'm the quarterback of this show. So what do you think Matt Nagy's thinking right now with Justin Fields? What's going through his mind on this subject matter?
I think the reason they liked Dalton so much was because, and they were going to stick with him, was because he could process quickly. He could handle a lot of offense. He can get him in good plays out of bad plays. There's so much of the quarterback position in the NFL right now that just doesn't get talked about. And a lot of that is just mitigating damage. You're trying to prevent negative plays. They felt great about that. Justin's probably great in the film room. He's probably great on the board. But there's this huge transition from the whiteboard to the white lines in the NFL. I think it's the most difficult part of the transition, is you can get it in the room. You can see it. You can watch it on tape. You can comprehend it. You can draw it up. You can answer your quiz questions. And you get out there between the white lines, and it looks different. It feels different. It happens faster. Everybody talks about the game's faster. Well, a lot of it's faster with information. It's not just the speed of the players. That comment's been dumbed down over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Every analyst says, hey, the game's faster. Well, no kidding. But it's not just the athletes. It's the processing of information happens so much faster. And that's what happens to a lot of these young guys. And now he's sitting there going, golly, Dalton wasn't doing a great and is banged up. Fields, I thought at least be able to create some time and space with his athleticism, and that didn't happen. People are now starting to call me Adam Gase. I got to put some points on the board. So I got to figure out the guy that can get us out there and be explosive and put points on the board, and at the same time not cause us negative plays. He's in a tough spot right now.
Well, I mean, the name of this show is The Rich Eisen Show and not the X's and O's podcast like yours. So I'm not an X's and O's guy. But I do have a set of eyes. The number of times that they would just drop Fields back and just say, okay, Clowney and Garrett meet in the middle. Like, I didn't see the scheme very much to get him out on the edge or create some sort of action with him and his terrific running back in Montgomery that – who's got the ball? Like I didn't see any of that unless the Browns dictated so much that couldn't be run. What are your thoughts on that?
They've gone ultra spread, and that was Nagy's MO in Kansas City. Was he added that spread flavor to Andy Reid's West Coast offense, and they've gotten ultra spread, and there are some incredible things about the spread. I mean, it is from a football dork like myself studying football, coaching. There's some really great elements, and you see them show up throughout the NFL now, and you couldn't say that 6-7 years ago. But they're not your fastball. They can't be your 96-mile-per-hour heater because you lose physicality, you lose deception, you don't change the launch point enough. man coverage and blitzes destroy it, or you just rush 3 and drop 8, which is the opposite. Now you flood zones up. It has to be a supplement to a baseline offense. And the little I've seen of the Bears, I watched this week because I wanted to see Fields, but even last year watching a lot of them, he's gone away from that. He's gone away from the nuts and bolts of having a standard offense, which is, a physical run game. It can be 2 back, it can be 1 back, it can be a lot of different things. It's got to be a physical run game, an inline tight end that's dominant, action pass, both from the pocket, half rolls, and full rollouts. Like you have to be able to change the launch point, quick game, screen game, like all these things that are staples in the best offense in the NFL. What you see the Cowboys last night? You saw a ton of offense. You saw all kinds of different schemes. It's one of the best things Kellen Moore does. He likes to throw it a little bit too much, but he does it a bunch of different ways. So Dak Prescott's not always in the same place. So the defensive line can't hunt to the same area every play. I think what you're seeing is a guy that's gone ultra spread, and you become predictable when you go spread.
So what is the answer in terms of Fields? Obviously the Jets and the Jaguars are going to keep throwing their guys out there. But what is the answer with Fields? Like where you said the processing from the grease board in the film room to real-time athletes coming at you in a real game is difficult to grasp. I mean, can you grasp it better watching, or you grasp it better practicing with the ones all week and taking your lumps on a Sunday?
I've been told I was always the one that said let them watch, and now I've kind of morphed into let them play. If, and there's a big if. The if is if you as a staff, offensive staff, feel like you can outcoach the other side of the ball. If you feel like you can create enough cheese on Sundays, and what the cheese is the free stuff. When you watch these great offenses play, whoever they are, you're going to see 10 to 15, and all of us quarterbacks talk about this all the time. You see about 10 to 15 freebies, just absolute cheddar out there. Like it's a 6-yard hitch, it's a bootleg, throw the ball in the flat, it's a shovel pass, it's some type of creative offense where you just get an easy play. If you can create easy plays, let them play and build their confidence and start building the offense around their strengths and their weaknesses. If you don't feel like you can do that and you're a system coordinator and you're a system staff, hey, we run a system. And if you can't run the system, you can't play. Then don't play them because it's going to take them a while to learn the system. That's where the hardest part is from the board to the lines, is you're trying to process the system and all the rules in the system, and then you go out there on Sundays, you're like, whoa, this isn't the way we talked about it. What rule is that? What's my read here? Oh, they didn't play the defense we said they're going to read. Well, what's my rule and adjustment on that? This blitz is coming here. Who do I bring over here to protect it? It's too much. But these young guys that have had success, if you go back and you study the tape, it is multiple freebies a game. Well, you give them freebies a game, and now they get their confidence up. And now you start falling into something offensively like, hey, with this guy, we can do this, and we can do that. And we can create deception here, and we can get a free play here and there, and all of a sudden you're rolling.
Trent Dilfer, Beyond the X's and O's podcast. You should get it where all podcasts are required. Head coach at Lipscomb Academy in Tennessee, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. What's going through Mac Jones's mind as Tom Brady's coming home angry? What do you think's going on in that young man's lid this week?
I think he's excited. Listen, he's playing well. He is playing really well. His eyes are – you talk about a guy that's jumped in and taken from the grease board to the white lines. He's dialed in. He throws a couple picks the other day. One, he's getting hit, and the ball just flutters, not his fault. The second one goes off the receiver's hands, and the third one's with 8 seconds left in the game trying to put some needless points on the board. So it's not like he's being careless with the football. He's playing the position fast, on time. I think he's excited. Now, they're playing a ticked-off Tom Brady who's coming to Foxborough, and he's got to anticipate the assassin showing up. But I think from his side, if he's focused on controlling what he can control, he's 30 of 51 the other day under some tough situations, trailing the whole time against a good defense. The wind's blowing. He's knifing it through the wind. He's making some plays with his feet. He made some off-platform plays. Like, his confidence is only growing. And I think, any young guy, listen, to play quarterback, you better be a legend in your own mind. So, I mean, Brett Favre was 10 times the player I was. But when I'd go up to Lambeau to play him, I wanted to show up Brett Favre. Like, in my mind, I was going to be the star of the game, and I was going to beat Brett Favre. And I would tell him it before the game, and we'd joke about it. I think Mac Jones is a great competitor. Is going to have that mentality. Like, come on, Tom, bring your best. I'm going to play better than you.
So if Mac Jones took your approach the way you did to Favre and Lambeau, would he go up to Brady and say, I'm going to beat you today? Like, you'd look.
No, it's more of a joking thing, but he'd also be 0-10 in Lambeau, like I was. So, listen, I'm not saying it's good strategy. I'm just saying you have to have that mentality. It is hard. Playing quarterback in the NFL is flipping hard. And you better be a legend in your own mind. You better have supreme confidence. You better be able to bounce back. You better not go in the tank. And I think Mac Jones right now in his mind is saying, I'm going to be one of the best players in the league. Just give me time.
A few minutes more left with Trent Dilfer here on the Rich Eisen Show. You were one of the first to come on this show and talk about Tua. You saw him in the Elite 11 year. You talked about how you saw him make the throw in Elite 11 play that he made in the national championship game when he allegedly had Miami at hello. And now he's Miami's guy, and they were kicking the tires reportedly on Deshaun Watson before the season. He's now hurt. You saw what Brissett did against Vegas, and you're already hearing again that Tua's done in Miami, or you people in Miami say that. I hear it as well, that he's just a guy in the NFL. That's what he's proven to be. I give you the floor on where you think Tua stands now a year plus into his career in Miami on IR.
Well, I'm an apologist for Tua, but I also I just don't know who's saying this, because people I'm talking to rave about how he handled the offseason, raved about his training camp, played well early before he got hurt. He is hurt. I mean, he has bad ribs. He took an absolute slobber knocker shot on his ribs. I think you had to let the guy play a little bit. I'm not going to write off Zach Wilson after this year. He's going to play crappy the whole year. I mean, it's not going to get much better. And you can't write these guys that are supremely talented off, that are putting in the work and doing the right things and just don't have the support. I still think Tua is a supreme talent. I think giving him the right people around him, which they're getting there in Miami, the right play caller, which they finally have in Charlie Fry, one of the hugely bright stars in the NFL as a young play caller. You start giving him these tools, and he's going to be wildly successful. I feel bad for him, and I don't like when people are jumping off the bandwagon of talented players so quickly.
Well, it seems like it's also the Dolphins, too. Why would they be kicking the tires on somebody with more baggage than Los Angeles International and Deshaun Watson just a couple weeks before the season?
Yeah, I don't know that answer. I know a lot of teams have kicked the tires on Deshaun Watson. Nothing's happened, and maybe there's a reason why nothing's happened. If he does end up going somewhere else, I would still believe in Tua, but he's got to have the same things that every quarterback needs when they're growing in the position. They need support from their play caller and the people around them, and a good defense and a great organization and structure and all those things that all these quarterbacks are going to be in the Hall of Fame one day have.
But is that how you would build around Tua? The track stars at wide receiver, Gesicki at tight end? Like, is this?
I like what they've done. Okay. I like what Miami's done in the draft. Like I said, I think their young play caller, Charlie Fry, is your next Sean McVay / Matt LaFleur.
How about that?
These rock star young guys. He's as good as there is in the business.
Okay.
I think he needs a chance to play. Now, your best ability in the NFL is availability. And if you stay hurt, they're going to move on. And that at that point, you can't be an apologist for a player because he's not on the field. He needs to be on the field. He needs to be playing. He needs to be taking his lumps. He needs to be making games. He needs to be doing all the things that these other guys are doing. Daniel Jones, real quick. I think Daniel Jones is going to be a really good player. I know it's not going well in New York, but he's going to go back and be grateful for these days when they do turn it around, because he's learning so much how to manage and play the position and be a celebrity and be a starting quarterback and be the quarterback. And you have to play every week to learn how to be the quarterback.
Yeah, or you could turn into Sam Darnold, which is get your exit visas from the MetLife Stadium and then wind up 3-0 in the new spot.
The second spot for a lot of these young guys is going to be their spot. That's just the reality of where we're going. because they draft them so early. They're young. They can't support them. Then they give up on them. But then the next team sees the diamond in the rough, and they are talented enough. They get them a little bit cheaper, and now you have the Sam Darnold experience.
Well, I know the Steelers are hoping that's the spot for Dwayne Haskins. Maybe, like that's probably what they're thinking right now.
Yep.
Deep down.
Might be.
Hey, Trent, thanks for the time. Really appreciate it. Let's do this more often. Look for my text and call. Congrats on the pod. And again, like if you need a guy who can give you a couple snaps in a demo and refer to himself as a quarterback because he's a television host, I'm talking about myself. You just let me know.
Let's
okay?
go. We'll let you talk about yourself all you want, buddy.
Okay.
Love you, miss you.
Right back at you. That's Trent Dilfer, everybody. Check out his podcast, Beyond the X's and O's. Some great conversations right there. Aikman and Favre and Lynch. That's probably good. Bill Walsh, how about that? Hey, you're okay quarterback, but you could be a Hall of Fame safety. Guess what he is now? Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.